The underestimation. In the vastness of space, the starlight drifted quietly. It was a small human ship, not much larger than a school bus. Its hull was a dull gray, and it was equipped with the latest technology. But to outsiders, it looked insignificant. Inside, however, the crew was anything but ordinary. They were a group of dedicated scientists and engineers, ready to explore the universe and protect their home. Captain Elena stood at the bridge, staring out into the endless stars. She had always dreamed of being the captain, leading her crew into the unknown. Today, they were orbiting a distant planet, hoping to gather data and samples. But as she looked through the viewport, a strange sight caught her eye. A massive alien fleet was approaching. The alien ships were enormous, each one larger than the starlight. They were sleek and shiny, painted in dark colors that glimmered against the backdrop of space. Captain Elena felt her heart race. What are they doing here? She wondered. As the alien fleet drew closer, the bridge was filled with tension. The crew exchanged worried glances. Sam, the ship's engineer, broke the silence. "Do you think they see us?" he asked, his voice tinged with concern. Elena shook her head. "We're cloaked. They shouldn't be able to detect us. But we need to be careful." Suddenly, a loud voice crackled over the ship's communication system. It was a message from the alien fleet. "This is Commander Vrax of the Zarnuk Empire. We have no interest in your tiny ship. Leave this area at once or face destruction." The crew gasped. They had expected the aliens to be aggressive, but the sheer arrogance in the commander's voice took them by surprise. They could hear laughter in the background, a cruel, mocking sound that echoed in the small cabin. "They think we're nothing," Leela, the ship's scientist, said, her eyes wide. "What if they attack?" Captain Elena straightened her back. "We won't back down. We have to show them that we can stand our ground. They may laugh now, but we'll show them what we're capable of." The crew nodded, their spirits lifting at their captain's words. They were humans, and they had faced challenges before. But this was different. They were up against an entire fleet. The aliens had already underestimated them. Elena decided it was time to come up with a plan. "Gather in the conference room," she commanded. The crew quickly moved to the small space, where a holographic projector displayed the alien ships. "Look at their numbers," Sam said, pointing at the screen. "They have at least 20 ships, all heavily armed. We're outmatched." "But we have something they don't," Captain Elena replied, her voice steady. "We have ingenuity and the element of surprise. Our ship is small, but it's fast and equipped with advanced technology." "What's the plan?" Leela asked, her excitement growing. Elena smiled. "We use our cloaking device to get close. Then we launch a surprise attack. They may not see us coming." The crew nodded in agreement. There was a sense of determination in the room. They might be small, but they were ready to fight for their survival. As they worked on the plan, Elena could feel the energy in the room shift. The crew was no longer scared. They were ready to prove themselves. The laughter of the aliens echoed in her mind, and she felt a fire igniting within her. "Let's get to our stations," she ordered. "We're going to show those aliens that humans are not to be underestimated." The crew quickly moved back to their stations, their spirits high. Sam began running simulations on the ship's systems, ensuring everything was ready for the surprise attack. Leela analyzed the alien ships, searching for weaknesses. As the minutes passed, the starlight remained hidden, cloaked from view. The alien fleet, unaware of the danger lurking nearby, continued to mock the tiny ship. "We'll show them," Elena thought as she looked out at the alien ships. "They think they can bully us just because we're small, but they don't know what humans are capable of." Suddenly, the bridge's alarms blared. "Captain, they're scanning for life signs," Sam shouted, his fingers flying across the control panel. "Engage the cloaking device," Elena commanded. "We can't let them find us now." The starlight shimmered as it activated the cloaking device, becoming nearly invisible to the alien sensors. Elena took a deep breath. knowing that this was their moment. The aliens, still laughing and confident, began to move closer to their ship. "They're not taking us seriously," Leela said, a mix of fear and excitement in her voice. "Good," Elena replied, a determined glint in her eye. "Let them underestimate us. It will make our victory that much sweeter." As the alien ships drifted closer, Elena felt the adrenaline coursing through her veins. This was the moment they had prepared for. They would not be defeated easily. The crew of the Starlight was ready to fight back and show the universe what humanity could do. In the depths of space, with laughter still ringing in their ears, the crew of the Starlight prepared to prove their worth against the overwhelming power of the Zarnuk Empire. They would not let their size dictate their strength. They were humans, and they were ready for battle. The counterattack. The tension on the bridge of the Starlight was palpable. Captain Elena stood resolutely at the helm, her eyes locked onto the screen displaying the approaching alien fleet. They were still unaware of the tiny human ship lurking nearby, confident in their superior firepower. The crew had meticulously prepared for this moment, and now it was time to execute their plan. "Sam, how long until the cloaking device is fully charged?" Elena asked, her voice steady despite the rising adrenaline. "Just a few more seconds, Captain," Sam replied, his fingers dancing over the control panel. "Once it's fully charged, we can maneuver into position for the attack." Leela peered over Sam's shoulder, her eyes darting between the alien ships. "They're getting closer. We need to act fast before they realize we're here." Elena took a deep breath, her heart pounding in her chest. "All right, everyone. Remember our plan. We strike quickly, then retreat before they can react. Let's show them what we're made of." Just then, the cloaking device emitted a soft peep. "It's ready," Sam announced, a note of excitement in his voice. "Excellent. Let's move," Elena commanded. "Initiate cloaked flight." The Starlight glided forward, its engines humming quietly as it slipped into the darkness between the alien ships. The crew held their breath, eyes fixed on the enemy fleet. They could see the Zarnuk ships, their dark hulls gleaming ominously against the backdrop of stars, still unaware of the danger lurking among them. "Now target the ship at the rear of the fleet," Elena ordered. "It looks like the weakest link." Lila quickly adjusted the targeting system, her focus intense. "I've locked on. Ready when you are, Captain." Elena nodded, feeling a surge of determination. "On my mark, fire everything we have." The crew held their breath as the tension built. The laughter of the aliens echoed faintly in their memories, a reminder of what was at stake. Elena clenched her fists, ready to turn their mockery into regret. 3, 2, 1. "Fire," she shouted. The Starlight erupted with bright blasts of energy, streaking toward the unsuspecting alien ship. The shots found their target, and a brilliant explosion lit up the darkness. The alien vessel shuddered and began to spin wildly, debris scattering into the void. Direct hit. Leela cheered, her eyes wide with exhilaration. Elena grinned, feeling a rush of adrenaline. "Now let's get out of here." Engage the thrusters. But as they turned to retreat, the other alien ships began to react. "They've spotted us," Sam yelled, his voice rising in urgency. "They're firing back." Elena's heart raced as she felt the ship shudder under the impact of the enemy fire. "Brace for impact," she shouted, gripping the console tightly. The Starlight shook violently, alarms blaring. The crew scrambled to stabilize the ship as Elena fought to keep control. "Status report," she demanded. "Shields holding at 70%. Sam called out, sweat beading on his forehead. "But they're launching missiles." "Get us out of their line of fire," Elena commanded, her voice firm. With expert precision, Sam maneuvered the ship, dodging the incoming projectiles. "I'm on it. Hold on." The crew braced themselves as the Starlight veered sharply to the left, narrowly avoiding the missiles that zipped past them. Elena could feel her heart pounding in her chest, but there was no time for fear. They had to act fast. Activate the cloaking device again. Elena ordered. "We need to disappear before they can get another shot at us." As the ship shimmered back into invisibility, Elena felt a momentary sense of relief. But it was short-lived. The alien fleet was regrouping, and they would not be easily deterred. "Captain, they're changing formation," Leela warned. "It looks like they're preparing to hunt us down." Elena took a deep breath, her mind racing. They needed a new strategy. "We can't let them corner us. Let's lead them away from their fleet, then turn and strike again when they're separated." "Understood," Sam said, nodding. "Let's make them chase us." With the crew focused and ready, the Starlight accelerated, darting away from the alien fleet. The ship moved quickly through the stars, weaving in and out of the asteroid belt nearby to gain an advantage. "Look," Leela pointed at the screen. "They're following us, but they're struggling to keep up." Elena felt a spark of hope. "Perfect. Let's lead them into that cluster of asteroids. They won't expect us to double back." As they navigated through the rocky terrain, the crew worked together seamlessly. Elena felt a strong bond forming among them, a sense of unity that made them feel invincible. "Now," she shouted, "turn and fire." The Starlight emerged from the asteroids, and the crew unleashed another barrage of fire at the Zarnok ships. The surprise attack caught the aliens off guard, and one ship was hit directly, sending it spiraling into an asteroid. "Yes, keep it up," Leela cheered, her face lit with excitement. But the aliens quickly regrouped, their anger palpable. "They're firing back," Sam warned as he struggled to maintain control. Elena gritted her teeth, determination surging through her veins. "We can't stop now. We have to keep fighting. Let's push through." With renewed vigor, the Starlight dodged incoming fire and launched another round of shots. The crew fought valiantly, refusing to back down despite the odds stacked against them. Elena realized this was more than just a battle. It was a chance to show the universe that humans could not be underestimated. They were small, but they were fierce, and they were ready to fight back. As the crew of the Starlight engaged in a dance of destruction and survival, the laughter of the aliens faded into the background, replaced by the sounds of determination and resolve. This was just the beginning, and they would prove their worth to the galaxy, one fight at a time. The turning tide. The battle raged on, the void of space illuminated by the flashes of energy beams and the fiery explosions of ships. Captain Elena stood firm at the helm of the Starlight, her heart racing with every near miss and successful hit. The laughter of the aliens had turned into angry shouts, a sound that invigorated her and her crew. "Captain, they're regrouping," Leela shouted, her eyes wide with determination, as she monitored the tactical display. "They're trying to flank us." "Not if we can help it," Elena replied, her voice steady. "Sam, increase speed and take us toward that asteroid cluster. We can use the terrain to our advantage." "Aye, Captain," Sam responded, quickly adjusting the ship's trajectory. The Starlight shot toward the rocky formations, weaving skillfully between asteroids. The crew worked as one, each member aware of their role in the ongoing battle. Elena could feel the adrenaline coursing through her veins, her senses heightened as they navigated through the dangerous field. As they approached the cluster, Elena had an idea. "Leela, prepare a decoy drone. We'll send it out to draw their fire while we flank them." "Great plan. I'll get it ready," Leela replied, her fingers flying over the control panel. "Sam, keep us hidden until we're ready to strike," Elena instructed, glancing at the screen displaying the alien ships approaching their position. The crew moved quickly, each member focused on their tasks. The decoy drone was launched into space, a bright beacon that shimmered in the darkness. "Drones away," Leela announced, her voice filled with excitement. The alien ships, seeing the incoming target, shifted their focus. "They're taking the bait," Leela said with a grin. "Now's our chance," Elena shouted. "Sam, turn us around and let's hit them while they're distracted." With the Starlight now on the offensive, The crew prepared for the next assault. They emerged from their hiding place and charged at the alien fleet. Firing weapons, Sam declared, pulling the trigger on the control panel. The ship erupted with energy blasts that rained down on the unsuspecting Zarnok ships. Direct hits. They're taking damage. Leela cheered, her excitement palpable. Elena felt a surge of confidence. Keep it coming. Don't let up. The Starlight danced through the chaos, dodging incoming fire and retaliating with precision. The crew was working seamlessly, each member understanding their part in this high-stakes game of survival. But the Zarnok were fierce and relentless. They quickly adjusted their tactics, launching missiles toward the Starlight. Brace for impact, Elena shouted as the ship rocked under the onslaught. Shields are holding at 50%, Sam called out, trying to keep the ship steady. But we need to move. Keep your eyes on that lead ship, Elena ordered. That one's still in command. If we take it out, the others may fall into disarray. With renewed determination, the crew focused on their target. The lead Zarnok ship loomed large on the display, its weapons firing with deadly precision. Leela, can you pinpoint their weak spots? Elena asked, hoping for a miracle. Working on it, Leila replied, her brow furrowed in concentration. Their shield generator is exposed. If we hit that, we can break through. Sam, target the shield generator and fire on my mark, Elena instructed, her mind racing with strategy. Ready when you are, Sam confirmed, his hands poised over the controls. The Starlight glided closer to the lead ship, its movements smooth and calculated. Elena's heart pounded as they approached the enemy, the moment of truth drawing near. Now, fire, Elena commanded. The Starlight unleashed a volley of energy blasts, striking the Zarnok ship directly. A massive explosion erupted, and the alien ship staggered, its hull rupturing as sparks flew into the void. Direct hit. Their shields are down, Leela exclaimed, barely able to contain her excitement. Let's finish what we started, Elena shouted. Prepare to board their ship. The crew cheered, their confidence surging as the Starlight pulled alongside the disabled Zarnok vessel. Activating boarding pods, Leela called out, her fingers flying across the controls. The pods launched toward the alien ship, creating a loud clang as they made contact. Elena gathered her team, adrenaline pumping through her veins. Stay alert. We don't know what we're going to find inside. As the airlock opened, the crew stepped onto the alien ship, weapons at the ready. The atmosphere was tense, every shadow a potential threat. Stay together and watch each other's backs, Elena instructed, leading the way down the narrow corridor. They moved cautiously, the silence around them almost deafening. Suddenly, they heard footsteps echoing through the halls. The crew exchanged nervous glances. Looks like they're still here, Sam whispered, gripping his weapon tighter. As they rounded a corner, they spotted a group of Zarnok soldiers gathered around a console, frantically trying to regain control of their ship. Now's our chance, Leela hissed, raising her weapon. Elena nodded, feeling the rush of adrenaline surge through her again. On my mark. Go. They charged forward, weapons blazing as they engaged the enemy. The battle was chaotic, with laser fire illuminating the dark corridors. Elena fought fiercely, her instincts guiding her as she navigated through the chaos. The aliens were strong, but the humans had something they didn't: determination and teamwork. One by one, the Zarnok soldiers fell, and soon the crew was standing over the last of the defeated foes. Breathing heavily, they looked at one another, exhilarated by their victory. We did it, Leela shouted, her eyes sparkling with excitement. Elena couldn't help but smile, the pride swelling in her chest. This is just the beginning, team. We've shown them what humans are capable of. Let's take control of this ship and turn the tide in our favor. The crew cheered, their spirits lifted as they moved deeper into the alien vessel, ready to take on whatever challenges lay ahead. They were no longer the underestimated underdogs. They were warriors ready to prove themselves to the galaxy. The alien ship. As Captain Alina and her crew navigated deeper into the Zarnak ship, they encountered unfamiliar technology that flickered ominously in the dim light. The walls were lined with strange symbols, pulsating with a glow that seemed to resonate with the heartbeat of the ship itself. It was both mesmerizing and intimidating, a stark reminder of the alien power they had just faced. "Leela, can you make sense of any of this?" Alina asked, motioning to the control panels adorned with symbols and lights. "I'll try," Leela replied, her fingers flying over her wrist console, which had become an essential tool in understanding alien technology. "Be careful, Lila. We don't know what might activate anything," Sam warned, eyeing the controls warily. Lila nodded, her focus sharp as she began to analyze the alien systems. "It's definitely different from anything we've seen before. But wait, I think I can access their systems." As Leela worked, the rest of the crew secured their surroundings, ensuring there were no lingering threats. Alina felt a mix of excitement and anxiety. They had fought hard to reach this point, but the journey was far from over. "I'm in," Leela exclaimed after a few tense moments. "I've got access to their navigation and weapons systems. This ship is more advanced than ours." Alina's heart raced. "Can we use it to our advantage?" "I think so," Leela replied, her voice filled with enthusiasm. "If I can reroute the energy flow, we could potentially amplify our own weapons. This ship has a lot of firepower." "Do it," Alina ordered, a fierce determination igniting within her. "But let's move quickly. We don't know when reinforcements might arrive." As Leela worked, the ship continued to shudder, a reminder of the battle outside. The crew could hear the distant sounds of energy blasts and explosions, a testament to the ongoing conflict they had ignited. "Sam, can you monitor the external situation?" Alina asked, turning to him. "We need to know if the Zarnak are regrouping." "On it," Sam replied, shifting his focus to the external sensors. "It looks like they're still trying to recover from our attack. We might have a small window of opportunity." "Let's take it then," Alina said, her resolve hardening. "We can't let this chance slip away." Suddenly, Lila's voice broke through the tension. "I've got it. I can reroute the energy now. It might take a few moments to charge up, but once it's ready, we'll be able to unleash a devastating attack." "Perfect," Alina said. "Let's make sure we're ready. We need to find the bridge and gain full control of this ship." As they moved through the corridors, they encountered more of the alien technology, but Leela guided them with confidence, deciphering the paths as they went. The ship was vast, and every corner held the potential for danger, but the crew pressed on, fueled by their previous victories. Finally, they reached a set of large doors, adorned with the same glowing symbols they had seen throughout the ship. This had to be the bridge. "Everyone, ready your weapons," Alina instructed, her voice steady despite the rapid beating of her heart. With a nod from her crew, she pressed a button on the console beside the door. The doors slid open with a hiss, revealing the command center of the Zarnak ship. Inside, a group of Zarnak soldiers were gathered around a central console, their expressions a mix of shock and anger at the sight of the intruding humans. "Get them," one of the soldiers shouted, pointing directly at Alina and her crew. Without hesitation, Alina and her team charged into the room, weapons raised. The ensuing chaos was a flurry of energy blasts and shouts, echoing through the metallic chamber. "Leela, focus on that central console. Disable their navigation," Alina yelled as she took cover behind a nearby control panel. "I'm on it," Leela shouted back, her fingers dancing over her wrist console once more. Sam provided covering fire, aiming carefully as the Zarnak soldiers returned fire. The air crackled with energy as the room filled with the sounds of battle. "Hold the line. We can't let them regroup," Alina commanded, her voice cutting through the chaos. Just as Leela finished her work, the central console exploded in a shower of sparks, causing the Zarnok soldiers to recoil in shock. "Navigation is down," Leela called, a triumphant smile breaking through her tense expression. "They won't be able to escape or call for help." "Excellent work, Leela. Now, let's finish this," Elena shouted, charging forward. With renewed confidence, the crew pressed their advantage. The Zarnok soldiers were disoriented, their orders falling into chaos as the humans fought with determination. One by one, the Zarnok fell, and soon the bridge was theirs. Elena stood tall, looking at the remains of the defeated aliens. "We did it, team. We've taken their ship." Leela beamed with pride, her eyes sparkling with excitement. "And we've got their weapon systems at our disposal. This changes everything." "Now we can turn the tide of this war," Sam added, a grin spreading across his face. "We'll show them that humanity is not to be underestimated." Elena nodded, her heart swelling with pride for her crew. They had fought against overwhelming odds, and now they had a powerful weapon at their disposal. "Let's make sure we're prepared for whatever comes next. We have to be ready to face the rest of their fleet." With the bridge secured and their spirits high, the crew began to strategize their next move. They were no longer the underdogs. They were warriors with the strength of their newfound ship, ready to prove their worth to the galaxy. The fight was far from over, but they had taken a significant step forward in their battle against the Zarnok, turning the tide. With the Zarnok ship under their control, Elena and her crew quickly set to work. They began to familiarize themselves with the alien technology, hoping to use it to their advantage. Lila was a natural at this. She had a keen mind for systems and operations. "Captain, I've managed to connect our ship's systems with the Zarnok ship," Leela announced, her voice laced with excitement. "We can now harness their power sources and weaponry. It's incredible." "Fantastic. Can we modify our weapon systems to include theirs?" Elena asked, her eyes lighting up with anticipation. "Yes, we can create a hybrid system that will enhance our firepower. The Zarnok weapons have a higher output, and if I reroute our energy flow correctly, we'll have the advantage we need," Lila replied, her fingers already flying over the console. Elena turned to Sam, who was monitoring the external sensors. "Any updates on the Zarnok fleet?" "Not yet, but I'm picking up some energy signatures. They seem to be regrouping not far from here," Sam said, his brow furrowing in concentration. "We need to act fast before they figure out what happened." "Agreed." "Leila, how long will it take to modify our systems?" Elena inquired. "Just a few minutes, but I need uninterrupted access to the console," Leila responded, glancing nervously at the door. Elena nodded. "Sam, keep an eye on the sensors. Let us know the moment they come into range. We need to be ready." As Leela worked, the atmosphere in the bridge shifted from fear to determination. The crew was no longer simply surviving. They were now on the offensive. Elena felt a sense of pride swell within her. They had faced their fears and emerged victorious. Now they would take the fight to the enemy. "Captain," Sam shouted suddenly, "I've got multiple ships coming in fast. It looks like they're trying to flank us." Elena's heart raced. "Leela, how much longer?" "Just a few more seconds. I can do this," Leela replied, her focus unwavering as she pushed through the final steps of the modification. With the clock ticking down, Elena's mind raced. "Prepare the weapons. We need to defend ourselves while Leela finishes her work. Everyone, take your positions." The crew sprang into action, adrenaline coursing through their veins as they prepared for the impending confrontation. Elena took a deep breath, her mind sharp and clear. They had fought against the odds before. They could do it again. Just as the Zarnok ships entered firing range, Leela shouted, "I've done it. The systems are ready." "Activate weapons," Elena commanded. The ship trembled as energy coursed through its new systems. Bright beams of light shot forth, illuminating the dark space around them. The crew watched in awe as their ship fired upon the approaching Zarnok fleet. Direct hit, Sam exclaimed, a grin breaking across his face. Keep firing. Don't give them a chance to regroup, Elena shouted, her voice rising above the chaos. The battle raged on as beams of energy clashed in a dazzling display of light. The Zarnak ships, once confident in their superiority, now found themselves on the defensive against the tiny human vessel that had taken down their ship. We're holding our own, Sam called out, his eyes wide with excitement. They're taking heavy damage. Let's keep the pressure on them. We can turn the tide of this war, Elena shouted, her heart pounding in her chest. As the Zarnak ships faltered, Elena felt a surge of hope. They were not just fighting for survival. They were fighting for a future. Every blast, every maneuver, was a testament to their resilience. Leela, can we lock onto their command ship? Elena asked, her eyes scanning the battlefield. Give me a second, Leela responded, her fingers moving swiftly. Almost there. Yes, I've got a lock. Fire, Elena commanded, her heart racing. A brilliant beam of energy shot forth, striking the Zarnak command ship directly. The vessel shuddered under the impact, its shields flickering weakly as the crew watched in awe. Direct hit. They're losing control, Sam exclaimed, his voice a mix of disbelief and exhilaration. Let's finish this, Elena urged, her determination fueling her crew's efforts. With renewed vigor, they targeted the Zarnak ships one by one. The tide had turned, and their victory felt imminent. Elena could hardly believe it. They had gone from being the underdogs to leading the charge against the alien fleet. As the last Zarnak ship fell, the crew erupted into cheers. They had done the impossible. Captain, we did it. We took down their fleet, Sam shouted, his voice filled with joy. Excellent work, everyone. This is just the beginning, Elena replied, her heart swelling with pride. We've shown them what humanity is capable of, and we will continue to fight for our future. As they regrouped and assessed the situation, Elena knew they had forged a new path. They were no longer just a small human ship. They were a force to be reckoned with. The battle against the Zarnak was far from over, but they had taken a significant step toward victory. Let's set a course for the Zarnak homeworld, Elena commanded. It's time we show them that humanity will not be underestimated. With determination in their hearts, the crew of the small human ship prepared for the next chapter of their journey. They were no longer alone in this fight. They had become a beacon of hope for humanity, ready to face whatever challenges lay ahead. The counteroffensive. The crew of the small human ship reveled in their recent victory over the Zarnak fleet. However, amidst the cheers and celebrations, Elena felt a weight on her shoulders. They had won a battle, but the war was far from over. As the adrenaline began to fade, the reality of their situation set in. They had to be ready for the Zarnak's next move. Captain, we're receiving a message from the Zarnak command, Sam announced, his brow furrowed with concern. It looks like they're calling for reinforcements. Elena's heart sank. How long do we have? Based on their position and trajectory, they'll be here in about an hour, Sam replied. We need to prepare for a counteroffensive. Leela turned from the console, her expression serious. We can't let them regroup. If they bring in more ships, we could be outnumbered. Elena nodded, her mind racing. We need to use our advantage. Leela, can we access the Zarnak communication systems and learn more about their reinforcements? Already on it, Leela said, her fingers flying over the controls. I'll see if I can intercept their transmissions. As Leela worked, Elena gathered her crew. Listen up. We've taken down their fleet, but we need to stay sharp. The Zarnak won't take this loss lightly. We need to be ready for anything. The crew nodded, a mix of determination and apprehension on their faces. They had defied the odds, but the challenge ahead loomed large. Leela, any updates? Elena asked, watching her work. Just got a reading. They're mobilizing several large ships for the counterattack, Leela reported, her eyes narrowing at the screen. They're organizing themselves in a battle formation. Can we use their formation against them? Elena pondered aloud. We could exploit their weakness in numbers, Layla replied, a spark of excitement in her voice. If we can lure them into an ambush, we can take out their lead ship and disrupt their coordination. Sounds like a plan. Sam, can you map out a strategy? Elena directed. Sam nodded, quickly bringing up a holographic display of the incoming Zarnak ships. If we position ourselves here, we can draw them into this asteroid field. It'll limit their maneuverability, and we can pick them off one by one. Excellent thinking. Let's get to work, Elena commanded. The crew sprang into action, preparing for their ambush. They calibrated their weapons, adjusted their shields, and set the ship's course toward the asteroid field. The atmosphere buzzed with tension and excitement. They were about to face the Zarnak once again, but this time they would have the element of surprise. Captain, the Zarnak fleet is on the move, Sam announced, his eyes glued to the sensors. They're coming in fast. Everyone, to your stations, Elena shouted. Let's show them what we're made of. As the Zarnak ships entered the asteroid field, Elena's heart raced. She could see their formation beginning to shift, just as they had planned. The Zarnak were confident, thinking they would easily crush the small human ship. Now, Leela, engage the weapons, Elena commanded. Bright beams of energy shot out from their ship, striking the lead Zarnak vessel. The explosion rocked the nearby asteroids, sending debris flying in all directions. The Zarnak ships faltered, struggling to regain their formation amidst the chaos. Direct hit. They're in disarray, Sam exclaimed, his voice filled with excitement. Keep firing. We need to maintain the pressure, Elena urged, feeling the adrenaline surge through her. As they maneuvered through the asteroids, they picked off one Zarnak ship after another. Elena's heart swelled with pride. Her crew was proving themselves time and again. They were no longer the underdogs. They were warriors fighting for their survival. Captain, they're starting to regroup, Leela shouted. They're trying to form a defensive perimeter. Elena felt a surge of determination. We can't let them. Let's go for their command ship. On it, Leela replied, adjusting their course. As they closed in on the Zarnak command ship, Elena could see the fear in the enemy crew's eyes. They had underestimated the small human ship, and now they were paying the price. Prepare to fire, Elena commanded. Locking on. Firing. Leela shouted. The energy beam shot forth, striking the command ship directly. It shuddered under the impact, its shields flickering. Yes, we're breaking through, Sam cheered. But just as victory seemed within reach, the Zarnak ship retaliated, firing back with its own powerful beam. Brace for impact, Elena yelled, gripping the control panel as the ship rocked violently. Shields holding, Leela reported, her focus unwavering. We need to finish this now. Leela, can we overload their systems? Elena asked, her heart pounding. Yes, if we disrupt their power flow, we can take down their command ship for good. Leela replied, already working on the console. Do it, Elena urged, her voice steady despite the chaos around them. As Leela worked quickly, Elena rallied her crew. This is it. We have to believe in ourselves. We've come this far. We can win this fight. With a final surge of energy, Leela shouted, I've done it. Overloading now. The command ship erupted in a brilliant explosion, its destruction lighting up the dark space around them. The remaining Zarnak vessels began to flee, panic spreading through their ranks. We did it, Sam yelled, his voice a mix of disbelief and joy. Keep an eye on them. We can't let them regroup, Elena ordered, her voice steady. The crew of the small human ship had done the unthinkable. They had turned the tide of the battle once more. As the Zarnak retreated, Elena felt a sense of pride and hope. They were no longer just fighting for survival. They were fighting for a future. Set a course for the Zarnak homeworld, Elena commanded. We're taking this fight to them." With their spirits high, the crew prepared for the next phase of their journey. They were warriors now, ready to face whatever challenges lay ahead, united in their determination to protect humanity and prove that they would never be underestimated again. The final stand. The small human ship soared through the vastness of space, leaving behind the debris of the Zarnak command ship. The crew's excitement bubbled, but beneath the exhilaration lay a growing anxiety. They had achieved an unexpected victory. But the Zarnak were not known for their mercy. As they set their sights on the Zarnak homeworld, Alina knew they had to be prepared for the ultimate confrontation. "Captain, we're approaching the Zarnak homeworld," Sam announced, his voice tinged with a mix of excitement and fear. The planet loomed ahead, a sprawling mass of dark landscapes and glimmering cities surrounded by an ominous fleet of Zarnak ships. Alina's heart raced as she surveyed the scene. "This is it, everyone. We've come a long way, but we need to be smart. The Zarnak will be expecting us." Leela leaned over her console, her brow furrowed. "They've got a massive defense grid. We'll have to navigate through it carefully if we want to land." "Let's not forget, we're still underestimated," Alina said with a fierce smile. "They think we're just a small human ship. Let's use that to our advantage." As they approached the planet, Leela initiated evasive maneuvers to dodge incoming fire from the Zarnak ships. The crew worked together, their movements synchronized, a well-oiled machine ready to face any obstacle. "Sam, take us into the atmosphere. Leela, keep an eye on those defense systems," Alina commanded, adrenaline pumping through her veins. They breached the atmosphere, the ship shaking as they dove towards the surface. Explosions erupted around them, and Alina gripped the controls tightly, guiding the ship through a hail of fire. "Hold on," Leela shouted as they banked sharply, narrowly avoiding a volley of laser fire. They found a momentary reprieve as they navigated through canyons and valleys, using the terrain as cover. The Zarnak ships were slower to pursue, their larger frames struggling to maneuver in the narrow spaces. "We need to find a place to land," Sam said, scanning the surroundings. "There. That flat area ahead looks clear. Engage landing protocols," Alina ordered. As they descended, the ship trembled under the strain of landing. They touched down with a thud, the engines sputtering as they powered down. "Everyone, gear up. We don't know what's waiting for us out there," Alina instructed, her voice steady and commanding. The crew donned their battle gear, readying themselves for the fight ahead. They had fought bravely in space, but now they were on enemy territory. "Leela, can you get a reading on their defenses?" Alina asked. "I'm on it," Leela replied, tapping furiously on her console. "They have ground troops stationed nearby. It looks like they're mobilizing to intercept us. Then we need to move fast. We can't let them regroup," Alina said, her determination unwavering. They exited the ship, stepping onto the alien soil. The air was thick with tension, and they could hear the distant sounds of Zarnak voices echoing in the distance. "Let's move," Alina urged, leading the way. As they advanced, they utilized the cover of rocks and foliage to stay hidden. Alina's heart raced as they approached a Zarnak encampment. She could see soldiers moving around, preparing for their defense. "Leela, do you have any tech to disable their systems?" Alina whispered. "I can try to hack into their mainframe. If I can disrupt their communication, we'll have a better chance," Leela replied, determination in her eyes. "Do it. Sam, keep watch," Alina instructed. As Leela worked, the tension mounted. Every second felt like an eternity, the Zarnak soldiers oblivious to the impending threat. "Almost there," Leela muttered, her fingers flying over the device. Suddenly, an alarm blared from the Zarnak camp. "They're onto us," Sam shouted, his voice laced with urgency. "Leela, now," Alina ordered. With a final flourish, Leela pressed a button, and the Zarnak communication systems fizzled. Confusion erupted in the camp as Zarnak soldiers scrambled, unable to coordinate their defenses. "Let's take advantage of the chaos," Elena shouted. The crew charged forward, firing their weapons with precision. The element of surprise was on their side. The Zarnak were caught off guard, their formations crumbling under the unexpected attack. "Keep moving. We need to reach their command center," Elena yelled, adrenaline coursing through her. They fought fiercely, the small human crew proving their mettle against the larger Zarnak forces. Each victory fueled their resolve, their unity becoming their greatest weapon. As they pressed deeper into the heart of the Zarnak stronghold, they finally spotted the command center. A massive structure loomed ahead, guarded by elite Zarnak soldiers. "All right, this is it," Elena said, steeling herself. "We take out their command, and we disrupt their entire operation." The crew took cover, exchanging determined glances. They knew this was the moment that would determine the fate of their mission. "Leela, can you override the security systems?" Elena asked. "I'll do my best," Leela replied, her face a mask of concentration. As Leela worked her magic, Elena and Sam prepared their weapons. The Zarnak soldiers remained oblivious, their attention focused on the chaos outside. With a triumphant beep, Leela grinned. "I'm in. The doors are opening." "Now," Elena shouted. They stormed into the command center, guns blazing. The Zarnak soldiers, caught off guard, scrambled to defend themselves. "Stay close," Elena shouted, leading her crew through the chaos. They fought their way to the central control room, where the Zarnak commander stood, panic etched across his face. "You humans will pay for this," he roared, drawing his weapon. "Not if we stop you first," Elena shot back, determination blazing in her eyes. A fierce battle erupted, but the crew fought valiantly. They had faced insurmountable odds before, and they refused to back down now. With a final push, Elena managed to disarm the commander, pinning him against the wall. "It's over. Surrender, and we can end this without further bloodshed." The commander glared at her, his eyes filled with hatred. "You will never defeat us." "Maybe not, but we're not backing down," Elena said firmly. Just then, Leela called out from across the room. "Captain, we need to destroy their systems. We have to send a message." Elena nodded, releasing the commander. "We won't be your victims any longer." As they set to work dismantling the Zarnak systems, Elena felt a sense of hope wash over her. They were standing together, fighting for their future. They were not just a small human ship. They were a force to be reckoned with. With a final explosion, the Zarnak command center crumbled, and the crew raced outside to witness the chaos that ensued. The Zarnak forces were in disarray, their coordination shattered. As the small human ship took to the skies once more, Elena looked back at the planet below. They had faced their fears and emerged victorious. "We did it," Sam exclaimed, a wide smile on his face. "Yes, we did," Elena said, pride swelling in her heart. "And this is just the beginning." With newfound strength and unity, they soared through the stars, ready to face whatever challenges awaited them. They were no longer underestimated. They were warriors, fighting for humanity's future and proving that even the smallest ship could make the biggest impact.